Right, boys, before we start this podcast episode today, I have a huge announcement to make, okay? I am now on Spotify, I am now on Amazon Music, and I am now on Apple Podcasts with these podcast episodes. You can access all of them now. Go check it out. If you're on a walk, if you're traveling to work, you can now listen to these. You can listen to them from anywhere now. So go check them out on all those platforms. And boys, let's get into the episode. Right, boys, here we go again. Welcome back to the 9th episode of the Two Real Podcast. Yet again, we've got a bit of a scenery switch today, and I think I favour this one. I think I like this scenery switch more. I feel like the other one, the sitting down one in the last podcast, yes, it was effective, it was good, but the thing is I struggle with my videos and filming on an iPhone is the exposure, and I like the exposure in this car. I feel like the projection is good. I'm in frame, you can see me a lot better than the other car as well, where it was a lot darker. And yeah, that's the improvement I have made. Let me know what you boys think, if you prefer this scenery better than all the others. And yeah, I'm going to be, continuing to make improvements in these videos and these podcasts. So let's get into the episode today. Okay, so for my first topic today, I understand in life there are a lot of things you cannot control that are just uncontrollable. Like, there are certain things you are facing where you feel like, you know what, I can't control that that's happened. And obviously when they happen, you obviously you can't go back and control them. They're in the past, they have happened. But now, to counteract that, you need to understand that there are things you can control to prevent that. And I feel like the most important thing to learn for yourself to control is your response. Your response to bad things and bad situations that happen to you. And through controlling your response, I mean, you end up learning how to not repeat that same thing again, or how to not encounter that thing again. And I feel like most people, they don't control their response. When something happens to them, they're just like, oh well, that's happened to me, and then it happens to them again and again and again, because they're not learning, they're not extracting any value or lessons from that thing they've encountered. They're not trying to give good response to it. They're not trying to understand that there are lessons to be gave, or there'll be lessons to be received from that lesson, and from that, that mistake or failure or whatever you faced or encountered. There is a lesson there, and if you learn that lesson, you become willing to learn that lesson, you'll find a response for it. And when you find a response, you find that these things don't happen anymore. That these things that keep happening to you over and over again, I mean, if you find a lesson, if you find a way to respond to that so that it doesn't happen again, well, I've answered it there. It will no longer happen. It will no longer happen, against you or to you. And I feel like response is controllable. I think every time something bad happens in our lives, I mean, we can respond to it. We can learn from it and we can move on from it, or we can, learn to understand it, learn to make sure it doesn't happen again. And I feel like that's where victim mentality comes in, where a lot of people are constantly saying, oh well, this thing's happened to me, or this thing's happened to me, or I'm dealing with this, and this thing's happened to me over and over again. All these bad things are happening to me. I'm an unlucky person. And what do? And I would say, you need to learn to respond to those bad things that are happening to you with positive responses. And it depends on the situation. Obviously, it's different. It's situational and subjective to that, specific situation. But just exactly when something bad happens, or you encounter a situation where now you can no longer control it. It's already happened. You can't control it. But learn to respond to it. Learn to look at it and be like, okay, this thing has happened to me. How can I move forward from this? What lesson can I extract from this? And how must I respond to it next time it may come around? And I feel like through doing so, you understand that you can control things, and you can control these bad things that happen in your life and these things you encounter. But sometimes they do just have to happen to you first. They do just have to happen. Sometimes bad things, you just have to go through them. You have to go through them to understand and to learn to respond to them, and to learn how to defect them the next time they come about. And I feel like when people are going through bad things, or they're encountering bad things, they feel like they're trapped. They feel like it's not controllable. And yes, they are correct, or you are correct in the fact that they are uncontrollable when they've happened, because it's already happened. You can't take back the fact that that has happened. But having a victim mentality and trying to blame it on the fact that you're just an unlucky person or these bad things are happening to you is completely in your control. That's your response. That's your negative response, and that's why they keep happening over and over again, because you are given a response to it, but it's negative. And this negative response is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to help you with any problems moving forward. It's going to continue to happen to you over and over again. And secretly and deep down, you know that. But it's like, sometimes it's like people who have bad things going on happening to them continuously. It's like they want it. It's like they want it to happen to them, because their response is like, oh well, it just happens to me. And then another bad thing happens. You're just like, oh okay, well this has happened to me. It doesn't have to keep happening. You can respond positively to it. You can understand that if you learn why that thing's happened, you can learn to make sure it doesn't happen again. And I feel like I've waffled on a lot in this point, and I hope you've understand the overall conclusion I'm trying to get at. But it's just that when something bad happens, respond to it positively. Understand there's a lesson to be extracted from it, and understand that if you learn that lesson and you continue to have these positive responses, then less bad things are going to happen to you, and you're going to, stop getting unlucky, in which you like to call it. You're not unlucky, you're just reacting badly to it, and you're not giving it a positive response, and you're not learning how to move forward from it, and you're not learning the things that are required to make sure it doesn't happen again. Your thoughts shape your reality, okay? This is one of the most crucial lessons I have learnt for myself. I feel like it links into the other point. The way in which you think and the way in which you act on those thoughts are going to shape your reality. They're going to shape the way you look, how things go, your success, where you end up 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. The way you thought and the way you acted on those thoughts, they're going to shape your reality. They're going to shape how your life is going to look. And I feel like, for me, when I started thinking positively, well, guess what happened? Positive things started to happen. I started to think, oh, you know what? The right thing to do is to start eating clean. The right thing to do is to start working hard in the gym and never missing a session. The right thing to do is to wake up early in the morning and hitting the gym nice and early, starting the day off good, getting home, reading, meditating, becoming more intellectually, smart, doing all these things. I knew that was the right thing to do, and exactly when I started to think of these positive things to do, not only did I think of them, but I acted on them. When I acted on them, guess what happened? Guess. My life became better. My life became positive, because the way I thought shaped my reality. For you as an individual who is probably listening to this, if you're going through a lot, and you, again, linking to the last point, if you're thinking, oh well, bad things are happening to me, my life is shit, I'm depressed, I just want it to all end. If you think that way, guess what's going to happen? You're going to live like that. That's going to be your reality. If you think shit thoughts, your life's going to be shit. If you think, oh well, I'm depressed, I'm sad, guess what? You're going to be depressed and sad, because that's the way you're thinking. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you think good things are going to happen. If you think bad things are going to happen. So just start simple. I understand it's easier said than done, especially if you have been through a lot of things in your life, trauma, etc. But understand that it's just start small. And sometimes simple actions can start off that thinking. For me, it was just the little things. I started to read. I never liked reading in school. I hated reading. I just hated it. So I started reading 10 pages a day, and through doing that, I started to learn things, positive things. And that fueled my mind with that positive energy that I needed to start doing things the right way, to start doing the good things. And I feel like these little steps are the first few steps that are going to get you closer to thinking positive and being positive in your life. And the way in which you think, like I said before, and the way in which you act on those thoughts is going to shape in the way in which your life is going to look now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I promise you that if you carry on going down the path you are at, with not only performing bad acts, but thinking badly about life and purpose and what you should do, then guess what's going to happen? It's going to end up the exact way that you thought. Because not only are you thinking these bad things, but you're acting upon them. You're being comfortable. You're being lazy. You're thinking lazy. You're thinking comfortable. If you constantly think, I'm a bit tired today, I'm not going to go to the gym today, I'm not going to eat good today, well, guess what? you're going to get the effects of not doing that, not only physically, but mentally as well. You've told your mind, oh, you know what, I'm not going to do it today. Guess what happens when you do that once? You do it again, you do it again, and you do it again, again, and again. Because you constantly, your mind, when you feed bad things to your mind's just going to become damaged. You feel like, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym. And you say that 3, 4, 5 times, you're just going to continuously do it. And if you do that with every single thing in your life, and you put it off, and you put off the good things, and you're constantly putting these bad thoughts into your brain, then your life, there's no reason to why your life is bad. So you can't just blame the fact that your life is bad when you should be taking full accountability and responsibility for that. Because the way in which you are thinking, the way in which you are acting, the way in which you are giving responses to bad things that are happening to you are negative. You're causing that repeated bad experiences for yourself. Those bad experiences that keep on happening to you, they are at fault of you. That is your fault, because the constant response you are giving before and after. This is the point here. The first point was about before, the response. I mean, the first point was about after. It's about the response to how you react to these bad things. But this second point is about before. It's the way in which you think and then act, and then that bad thing happens, and then your response is also bad, so they keep happening. It's a spiral. But yeah, your thoughts shape your reality and how your life is going to be. So if you're someone who wants to, who wants to feel better, be more happy, find their purpose, have a good life, then you need to start thinking like that. You need to start thinking that I deserve this. And I'm not only thinking that, I'm also acting on it. I want my life to be better. If you tell yourself that every day and you actually put that into action, guess what's going to happen? Your life is going to be better. Vice versa, the other side of that coin is, if I think, oh, well, my life is shit, well, guess what? Your life is going to be shit. And especially if you're doing shit things, you're living in comfort, you're not going to the gym, you're not eating clean, you're not working towards goals, ambitions, etc. Guess what's going to happen? You're not going to end up with that. So, boys, change the way in which you think, change the way in which you act on those thoughts, and change the way in which you respond to these negative outcomes from all thoughts. Because even when thinking positive, you're still going to go through failures. You're still going to go through things and encounter things that you don't want to go through, even when you're doing the right thing. Of course you are. That's the devil. It's the test to see how you're going to react to that. And that's why only the true warriors will make it through the successes of life, because those are the ones who are willing to get up and carry on no matter what things they face. And they're not only just getting back up, they're getting back up 10 times stronger, because they're responding to it as positively as possible, and they're just becoming stronger in that fact. And you need to learn to do that as well if you want to have any sort of success. I understand for a lot of you that you are trying to listen to what I am saying, but the difference is that you've already gone down such a dark path that in this present moment your life is really bad. But it doesn't have to remain that way. And I mean, the way in which you act, the way in which you think, the way in which you are responding to things, obviously that is the main thing here. But also, it's also about belief. It's also that the belief that it doesn't have to remain like that. But if you were constantly thinking that this is how the rest of my life is going to be, well, it's going to be that way. I feel like the way in which your life improves and things become better and you get off that path is at first belief. It's the belief that it can change, the belief that things can be better. And through believing, and then the next step after believing is actually taking action. It's actually incorporating good things, getting rid of the bad things. And I feel like you should actually do it the opposite way. Get rid of all the bad things in your life. Even sit here right now and I want you to list 5 things in your life that you know you shouldn't be doing. All the negative things. It can be 5, it can be 10, it might even be more for a lot of you. List all the bad things you know you shouldn't be doing. And what I want you to do I want you to focus firstly on getting rid of every single one of those things before you start doing good. You need to get back to where you were before you started to do them. So you've got a lot of recovering to do, my friend, okay? And that's the first step. Believe you can do it. Understand the negative things in the way. Get rid of those first before you start getting into the positive things. I don't believe in balance. If you still believe in balance, you're never going to get anywhere. You can't go to the gym but then eat like shit and scroll on social media and expect your life to improve. That's not how things work. Balance, that's the secret. You can't have balance. Balance is just, it's a comfort word. It's a word that has been watered in the modern day and era because people think, there needs to be a balance. Well, if I'm through the week I'm going to the gym, then Monday, Saturday and Sunday, I get to chill, I get to eat what I want, I get to have this cheat day. It's not how things work. If you want to be a warrior, and if you want things to be the best they could possibly be, you need to understand there is no balance. So first, believe in yourself, get rid of these negative things. Now you're at a clean slate. Start incorporating good things. Start understanding that you need to take action for things to actually see results. So now write down 5 to 10 good things you can start incorporating. This might be reading, going to the gym, eating better, setting big goals for myself to constantly improve on weekly. Challenge yourself. It could be anything. Just literally think right now and be like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning. That might be the first one. But then the next day I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning and I'm going to go on a run. The next day I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning. Maybe I'm not going to go on a run today, but I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to test myself today. Those are the steps that are required if you really, really want things to improve. But first, it's belief. And the first belief is understanding that things don't have to remain bad. They don't have to remain shit. And the truth is, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. You're going to deal with a lot of things you don't want to deal with. You're going to have to do a lot of things you don't want to do. But it will become easier over time. And the reason why it will become easier is because you will fall in love with that improvement. Like, you will fall in love with doing the right thing. That's something for me. This is why this is why I turn up every day with Day in the Life. This is why I turn up every week with these podcast episodes. This is why I'm constantly trying to improve things in my life and improve these as well. It's because I've fallen in love with doing the right thing. I've fallen in love with improvement. I've fallen in love with trying to help people because I know it's the right thing to do. And I feel like there's nothing stronger than realizing what the right thing is to do and acting upon that. And being the person who can show constant benevolence. You know, that's one of my favourite words, benevolence. It's about giving to people. It's about being charitable. And I love giving to people. I love helping people, even if it means the small steps for now. Maybe I'm not helping thousands of people yet, but I believe I will one day. And I've fallen in love with that. And because I've fallen in love with that, I'm more disciplined than ever. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I get to wake up today. I get to go to the gym and prove myself wrong. I get to eat these clean meals today and feel good, feel healthy, feel clear in my mind. I get to do these things. And I feel like once you get that love towards working towards your goals, it becomes easier. And because I think it's not even because it becomes easier. I think it's because now you've been doing it for so long that that's the results. The results isn't just the money. It's not just about the views or whatever you're doing. It's also about the clarity of mind. Once you get to a point where you're falling in love with doing the right thing and helping people, that's when now you've cleared your mind of all that negativity. I know I have. I don't indulge in any bad habits. I try and refrain from any sort of negative talk in any way, shape or form. And everything in my life is positive. I wake up, positive affirmations, walk into the gym, chatting positive. I have positive, insightful conversations with people at the gym or in the sauna or the steam room. I'm constantly working on myself and trying to better the world. And for me, I just want to be a philanthropist. I want to genuinely make the world a better place and dedicate my life to doing that. And I've fallen in love with that. And I promise you, if you fall in love with your goals and you fall in love with the journey and the process and whatever you're working towards, it will become easier. And not only that, things will get better that way because you will want to do it. You'll want to improve things and you'll want things to just be better. I'm going to go off topic here. I mean, it's still to do with self-improvement, etc. I feel like today it's been a lot more straight up, forwarding advice. It hasn't been more relatable talk. I feel like I go in and out of those sort of conversations. But I know you've heard this before. Health is wealth, okay? And it's overused too much. People just health is wealth, but they're not actually acting upon it, okay? I feel like the one thing that started to change my thought process, started to change the way I responded to things, started to change my way of thinking from I have to do this to I want to do this. It's health. It's look after my health. It's like there's so many ways in which you can help your health, not just through physical steps, but through mental processing as well. Like for me, Stoicism has helped, understanding that a healthy brain is going to make you do healthy physical actions. If you don't have a healthy brain, you have a weak brain. Well, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to act that way, are you? But if you have a healthy brain, you have strong mental clarity. well, you're going to do the right things, okay? So for me, stoicism is one of the most important practices you can do. It's about not relying on emotions. When you do certain things, it's about relying on what you know the right thing is to do. And I feel like for me, that has made things so much better. So try and learn stoicism, search it up, try and start to learn it and incorporate it, okay? And then second thing with health is wealth is the most important thing, and it's the thing people always associate it with, is food. It's about dieting. It's about the way you feel, the way you look. And I feel like for me, a few months ago, I completely cut sugar out. I don't eat sugar, a single gram. The only sugar I eat is from like Honeys and like organic banana chips, which is like cane sugars or coconut sugars. It's just raw organic sugars. That's the only ones I eat, or the only sort of sugar I eat, shall I say. And through doing so, my mind has been so clear. It's been amazing, and dieting is one of the most important things. And I feel like most people, when they talk about diet, they're like, it's about losing weight. Diet isn't about losing weight. Dieting is just about eating good, eating the right foods. You can have there are so many different sorts of diets, but for me, it's just about eating 100% clean, organic foods at all times. And boys, it's been probably the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing that has changed anything. And I feel like it's not only changed it in terms of the mental strength and the physical strength in my body, in my mind, but it's also changed it in terms of learning. It's like, if you're strict on meals, you're strict on dieting, guess what? You're going to get better at being strict on a schedule, because if you're learning to, when it gets to 10, eating my first meal, this is for me, I eat my first meal at 10, eat my second meal at 1:30, eat my third meal at 4:30, eat my fifth meal at eat my fourth meal. Let me reiterate that. First meal at 10, second meal at 1:30, third meal at 4:30, and then the fourth meal at 7 o'clock or 5:30 usually. Because I've done that, and I've done that every single day, 7 days a week for months straight. Now I've built this routine, not only with dieting, but I've learned how to be more routine based. It's taught me lessons on how to be stricter on a routine with other things as well, in terms of being to the gym. Now I go to the gym right in the morning 3 days a week, and then the rest of the days I do calisthenics, complete core things. So I do handstands, I do stuff like that, and it's built this distilled like discipline when it comes to scheduling, because that's what the diet has helped me do. And I can ramble on about all the benefits from it, especially with health in different ways and different shapes and forms, etc., in terms of your physique, in terms of your mind. But I'm just going to say, try it. Please try it. Cut out. I don't even want to give you a specific sort of diet, except only eating 100% clean whole foods. That's it. Cutting out all unnatural processed sugars, additives, etc. Only natural sugars, only natural foods, and that's it. And boys, your life will change. You'll become stricter with the schedule. Your mental clarity will get better. Your mental health will get better. Your mental strength will increase, and definitely the biggest thing that is the thing that most people do it for is your body, the way you look. I'm not the biggest guy, but if I take off this t-shirt, I can tell you that there's a whole different world under there, in terms of you can see the discipline that I have. Because I'm lean as fuck. If I take this off, you will be able to see the physique. I am lean, and I've worked hard for it, and dieting has been one of the most important things for me. So boys, the next point I want to go over today is, don't compromise self-respect and values to fit in with others, okay? Especially when you're trying to fit in with others who are on a bad path, okay? A lot of us compromise our self-respect to do things that others are doing, or to try and fit in with others, and you're just going to ruin your own life. If you neglect and you destroy and you compromise and get rid of your own self-respect and morals and values, then not only is that going to negatively affect you long term, because now people will have less respect for you because they see, oh well, you don't look after yourself, or well, like you're not respectful as a person, you don't speak with values. Like, if you do that, not only are you fucking yourself up in the long term, but you're also fucking yourself up now as well, because once you get rid of your values, once you get rid of your morals, once you get rid of that respect for yourself, you find yourself just doing the worst possible thing. And that is something that is learned, especially when you're doing things for others and you're trying to please others. There's no self-respect in the way you look, the way you feel. And that is a learnt skill, but it's a negative learnt skill, because you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to be the case. Once you lose self-respect, you start losing self-respect in terms of everything. You stop looking after yourself. You stop caring whether or not how you look when you wake up, or how you look when you go out the house. Like you stop caring towards loads of different things when it comes to self-respect. And that's why the world's fucked in terms of the way people look, the way, especially their bodies. And that's why no one's in shape anymore, because they've compromised the way they look, they've compromised the way they look after themselves to try and fit into others. They've gone to parties, they've drank alcohol, they've smoked and vaped because other people are doing that. They've compromised their own health, their own self-respect to try and fit in with others and do what others are doing. And through doing so, you compromise your whole life. You compromise your purpose, you compromise your goals, your missions, just to try and do these stupid little fucking things that others are doing. And it's pity, to be honest. I'm not even going to give pity, but I feel like it is if you have done that, that is your fault. Like I said with the other points, it doesn't mean it has to stay that way. You can believe that things can change and things can change, but it is your fault that you have let yourself get to that. But just, you need to cut it out. You need to stop doing it. You need to get back on track for yourself and yourself only, because no one's going to change you. No one's going to change you. No one's coming to save you. You might have heard that before. No one is coming to save you. The only person that can save you and change things in your life is you. So you need to stop compromising yourself and your own self-value, trying to fit in with others, especially doing negative things. Obviously, it's different when it comes to having a good environment around you. Sometimes it's good to change certain things to fit in with a positive environment, especially one that amplifies, you as an individual. But if you're compromising your self-respect and your own values and morals and the way you speak, the way you look, just to fit in with others, to do stupid little fucking habits, what are you doing? And I have no pity for you for doing that, because it's stupid and it's the wrong thing to do. So you need to stop doing it today, because it's not worth it in any way, shape or form. Stay humble and open-minded, okay? I feel like to be humble is important. Like for me, I'm a very humble individual. I don't respect people around me who are out of shape or who are doing the wrong thing, but I stay humble towards it, okay? I understand that me being rageful and me trying to disrespect them in person is not going to help them, okay? I stay humble and understand that I want to still help people, even if you've gone to what you believe is too far, even if you are very much out of shape, even if you are very much gone in terms of smoking, vaping, you've been doing it for a while. It's always reversible, and the way in which I help people is staying humble. It's understanding that I still have advice to give if you're in that position. I don't want to count you out because you're already there, because that's not going to help anyone. My mission is to change the world, and the way I'm going to do that is by helping everyone, not just a selective bunch. So stay humble, and to stay open-minded is to be willing to learn things and to listen to people who are in better situations than you, whether you like me a lot, or whether you like me or not, whether you like my content or not. A lot of which I say is true, and a lot of which, if you incorporate and you take lessons from me, guess what, your life is going to get better. And I'm here to help you for that, and I'm going to get better at that over time and being a better presenter at that. But yeah, you just got to be willing to be open-minded and to listen to people who are in better situations than you. And if you do that, guess what? Your life is going to be better, and you're going to get to that level as well. I'm nowhere near the level I want to be, so I'm still open-minded. I'm always open-minded. I'm always willing to listen to people who are in better situations than me, especially who have what I want to have. Obviously, you should always go down a slight different path and be unique with what you do, but be willing to listen to people who are in a position you want to be in. Or not only that, be willing to listen to people who are on a good path. Maybe they don't have exactly what you want, but they have, if you incorporate the lessons, you can have what you want. It might not even be the exact result, but just by incorporating their lessons, you will have a similar result mentally, especially with mental clarity. If you incorporate a lot of the good things I am telling you, we might not have the exact same way of thinking or agree on certain things, but if you adapt to it and you learn from what I am saying, your life will become better, and your mental clarity will become better, your body will become better. So just be willing to be open-minded and to listen to those who are in better positions to you, and guess what, your life will become better through doing that, and especially if you are incorporating those actions as well. Also, you have to master the art of patience. I mean, this can come in many forms. The first one is you have to be patient when it comes to improving your life. You have to understand that one day in the gym doesn't change anything. One week in the gym doesn't change much. 1 month in the gym doesn't even really change much. 1 week on the diet doesn't change much. 1 month on the diet, actually, you might start seeing good results in 1 month in the diet, but 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, it's all time, and you have to learn to be patient, and you need to understand that things take time, and they take a lot more time than you probably think, and maybe that's scary. Maybe you don't want to go through that because of that, but that's why you have to master patience. You have to understand that it's okay that things take time. That's why it's valuable. If things were quick and easy, then everyone would have them. There's a reason why so many people are out of shape, and there's a reason why so many people aren't in shape, because it takes time to build that shape. It takes hard work to do that. So you have to master the art of patience. And the second form of patience is patience in response. I get a lot of people who try and hate on my journey, who try and say, oh well, what you're doing is stupid, or you've lost your mind. And I'm a patient individual. I'm not going to act out of rage, because it's not going to make anything any better. I'm going to be patient, and they will one day see that all my hard work paid off. So you have to be patient in many forms. And learning patience will make you understand the lesson of time is the most important asset. But also, if you focus too much on it, then you're just focusing on the destination. If you're not patient, you're just like, oh, I just want the destination. I want it to come now. I want it to come now. I want it to come now. But then, if you were to be given it now, maybe it would last a week or a few months, and maybe it might make you happy, but long term it won't, because you didn't work for it. There was no value that was obtained from it, because you got it instantly. But if you're patient and you work towards things, and you work towards things for a large amount of time and a long enough period of time, not only will you be so happy when you achieved it because how patient you were and all the hard work you put in, but it will last longer. That happiness will last longer because now the value's there from it as well. I feel like one of the hardest things as human beings we can't do is learning the value of saying no, understanding that it's okay to say no. When someone offers us something, a fucking biscuit, fucking donut, we're like, oh yes, go on, well, I'll have that. Or like, oh yeah, you should come out tonight, you should come out this weekend, come clubbing, come drink. Oh yeah, I'll do that. You need to understand and learn the value of saying no if they don't align with what you are doing. If you're someone who's trying to be healthy and diet and go to the gym and only focus on themselves, you need to learn the value of saying no to people who are trying to get you to come out to do the complete opposite of what you're trying to do. You need to be willing to say no to a fucking donut or bad shit that is, forced in front of your face and your eyes. You have to be willing to say no to that. And as human beings, we struggle to say no for some reason because it's so tempting. We're like, oh yes, I might as well do it. Why not? I might as well do it. But also why? Because a lot of the things that you are saying yes to constantly are damaging. They're not actually helping you. So you need to learn the value of saying no, especially to things that don't benefit you in any way. And instead you need to start trusting your gut and your heart. And you need to start trusting what the right thing to do is. Like, if you ever get offered to go out, your gut is probably telling you, oh well, I'm going to get home early hours in the morning. The next day's sleep is going to be bad. I'm going to feel bad. The diet's going to be bad because I'm going to wake up at 12 p.m, 1 p.m, at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It's not worth it. So I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to do what I know I should be doing: going to bed early, waking up, and going to the gym. So you need to learn to trust your gut and your heart, because secretly we all know what we should be doing, even if we're on a bad path ourselves. Like, we all know what we should be doing and what the right thing is to do. It's just about acting on that, trusting that is the right thing to do, and just doing it, not doing the wrong thing. So learn to say no every once in a while, and learn to say yes, and trust, and learn to trust your gut to the things you definitely should be doing. And to end off this podcast today, I want to talk about mission and purpose, because I feel like that is the only drive we are given to want to willingly do something. Okay, you can adapt everything I've said today, but if you don't have a purpose or a reasoning or a mission and why you're going to do it, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to listen to me. So you have to find your mission. I'm going to give you a run over what my mission is. For me as an individual, I want to help the world. I want to make it a better place. I want to help people. That's the way you do that. I want to be a philanthropist, dedicate my life to making the world a better place. I want to be a very distilled, disciplined individual who says what they're going to do and they do it all the time. I want to be someone who looks after my family, who provides for them, who builds a strong family one day to do the same thing. I want to be someone who builds generational wealth. I want to be someone who can live in another country freely, traveling the world, creating entertaining content for people, and educate them through doing so as well, so they can do it themselves and inspire them to become the best version of themselves. That's sort of my mission. There's probably a lot more added onto that. It's mostly me giving it off the spot. And for you, if you don't have a reason to go to the gym, you don't have a reason for your life to be better, guess what? You're not going to do it. You're just going to fucking carry on what you're doing. So find your mission. Why do you want to eat better? Why do you want to look better? Why do you want things in your life to improve? And if you don't have a mission, you're not going to do them. So you have to find your mission. You have to find your purpose. You have to find your reasoning. If you have your reasons, especially if they're positive reasons that once achieved, you're going to be satisfied, then you're going to do it. I can't genuinely tell you your reasons, but if they're positive and they make you feel good and it feels like it's true purpose, then that's probably your reasons, okay? Do you want to go to the gym because you want to look better? That could be a reason. That's the regular reason usually. Do you want to go to the gym because it makes you feel strong mentally? It improves your confidence as an individual when you have never been a confident individual. Or do you want to go to the gym because you want people to respect you as an individual? Maybe that's something you've never received a lot of respect in your life, and you want that as an individual. There are so many different reasons, but you also need to think of the purpose and the mission behind it as well, long term. And I feel like no matter what age you are, you should be doing this. And I feel like a lot of people feel like everything I've said today is overloading. Like, oh, it's so much. Why do I have to think about this? You know, I'm only young once. I should just party and then think about that later on. But through doing that, you're gonna become even more overwhelmed. If you get to 20 to 30 years old, between those ages, and then you decide to try figure it all out, guess what? It's all gonna come tumbling down on you, because guess what? You left it way too long. So this is the time, especially between 16 and 20. These are the times to be working hard and to understand what you want to do, and then be working at them. So then when you do get to between 20 and 30, you have what you want. If you get to those ages and then you think, oh well, now I'll figure out what I need to do. Now I'll figure out my purpose. You're going to get overwhelmed, because now you're trying to work a job 5 days a week alongside trying to figure out your purpose. You're going to get drained, and then you're going to spend the rest of your life working, trying to retire if you even make it to that point, and your life is going to be wasteless. Okay, you need to think of a bigger and better purpose for yourself. And I want you to set your goals high. I want you to set it high. A year from now, I want to be traveling the world, Asia especially. That's my first destination. Creating content online, carry on these podcasts. These podcasts are never going to stop weekly. I'm going to continue them. 5 ways to get better. I want to buy a camera. I want to educate people further. I want to become more articulate with the way I speak, and I'm going to do that through learning, reading, and just practicing the skill, and through understanding my mission. So boys, it's going to wrap up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It was more of a direct one today, and I hope a lot of the advice helps you in your life, and I hope a lot of it you are going to start implementing, because trust me, if you will, if you are willing to, things are going to get better, and you know that, I know that. So start doing it, start incorporating it, boys. So thank you for tuning in if you did, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode. So boys, goodbye, and on to the next one.